Do you know that an average American family can lose anywhere from a few hundred to over $1,000 each year just because of small choices made at the grocery store? Not because they buy too much, not because of unusually expensive items, but because of very familiar products, priced at just a few dollars, bought repeatedly week after week. You do not feel shocked when standing at the checkout counter. You also do not think you are spending recklessly. But after 12 months, those convenience items and quick grab purchases add up to a number large enough to make you stop and think. The problem is not your spending discipline. The problem is that many grocery store products are designed to make you pay more without receiving equivalent value. This video is not meant to judge anyone. It does not say you are poor, and it does not say you are uninformed. It does only one thing. It points out 12 common grocery items that many Americans buy out of habit. And because of that, allow money to slowly leak away with each shopping trip. 12. Small packaged snacks. A small snack pack always looks harmless. The price is only a few dollars, easy to grab, easy to drop into the cart, especially when you are in a hurry. No one stops to think too long about something so small, and that is exactly what makes it one of the quietest ongoing expenses. When calculated by weight, small snack packs are often far more expensive than larger bags of the same product. But because the price per purchase is low, the brain does not treat it as a financial decision. It is just a convenient habit repeated week after week. There is a very familiar story for many families. On the way home, stopping by the store to grab a few snack packs for the kids to eat quickly, each time only a few dollars. It does not feel painful, it does not feel wrong, but after a year of looking back, the amount spent just on snacks has reached hundreds, sometimes close to $1,000. While none of it ever truly filled anyone up or replaced a proper meal, the problem lies in how we view shopping as individual moments. Each snack pack is too small to attract attention, but that smallness is exactly what allows it to repeat endlessly. Small snack packs are also not designed to end hunger. The small portions leave you still unsatisfied, making it easy to reach for the next pack. What you are buying is not really food. You are buying a few minutes of convenience, traded for a spending habit that stretches over many months. There are times when small snack packs are necessary, but when they become the default choice every week, you are no longer buying snacks. You are paying regularly into a loop that very few people notice until the total is added up at the end of the year. 11. Packaged deli meats. The cost of convenience. If you eat deli meats a few times a week and think of them as just a quick option, you may not realize that you are paying a very quiet price. Deli meats do not make you sick immediately. They slowly train your body to live with a level of risk that it carries for many years. The first issue is sodium content. Packaged deli meats usually contain far more salt than fresh meat cooked at home. Sodium does not only raise blood pressure. In people over 50, it causes the body to retain more water, forces the heart to work harder, and creates fatigue that appears without a clear cause. You finish eating and still feel hungry, still feel thirsty, and are more likely to overeat at the next meal. The second issue is preservatives and nitrates. Many deli meat packages are labeled uncured or no nitrates added, which leads buyers to believe they are a safer choice. In reality, most of these products simply change the source of nitrates, often using vegetable extracts such as celery. The final compounds entering the body do not disappear. They are just called by a more pleasant name. The label changes, the risk does not. The third issue is long-term cost. A few dollars for a pack of deli meat does not feel significant. But when used regularly over many years, you end up paying twice. Once at the grocery counter, and once at the doctor's office. Compared to cooking meat at home and slicing it yourself, packaged deli meat is always more expensive when measured by the actual amount of meat you consume. Many people who have worked in retail admit that deli meats and pre-marinated meats are sometimes used to extend the shelf life of meat nearing its expiration, because salt and seasoning can mask early warning signs. There are exceptions. Used very sparingly in unavoidable situations, deli meat can be acceptable. But when it becomes a habit, this is an expensive convenience and far from harmless. Short-term convenience often comes with a long-term price. And with deli meats, that price is not found only on the receipt. 10. Big brand breakfast cereals. You are not buying what is inside the box. You are buying what is outside the box. Breakfast cereal is one of the rare grocery items where the price does not reflect quality, but reflects how famous the box is. Cereal boxes with eye-catching mascots, bright colors, and prime eye-level shelf placement often cost 40 to 60% more than store brands sitting right below them. And the important part is this: inside, the difference is almost non-existent. In many cases, big brand cereal and store brand cereal are produced in the same factories, on the same production lines, sometimes even using the same basic formulas. The difference is not in the grains, but in the packaging, advertising, and shelf placement fees. When you pick up an expensive cereal box, you are paying for things that never enter your body. The defining feature of this category, and also its biggest trap, is that very few Americans check the unit price by weight. Our eyes see the price on the box. The store charges by the ounce or pound. When you do not compare unit prices, you can easily pay a few extra dollars per box without gaining any additional nutrition, protein, or fiber. At age 50 and beyond, breakfast habits tend to be stable and repetitive. And it is that repetition that allows small weekly differences to accumulate into large yearly totals. 2 boxes of cereal per week, a few dollars apart, do not stand out. But after 10 years, that becomes thousands of dollars spent just to buy the same product in a different colored box. Big brand cereals do not make you feel fuller. They do not make you healthier. They do not make mornings better. They only make the bill higher, and you rarely notice because everything looks so familiar. This is one of the few items where switching to a store brand comes with almost no trade-off, except giving up the habit of buying by brand. With cereal, the most expensive thing is not the grain. It is the belief that more expensive means better. Are you buying this out of habit, or because it truly fits the way you live today? 9. Energy drinks and ready-made coffee. Energy drinks and ready-made coffee are not items that shock you when you look at the receipt. That is exactly why they become one of the biggest sources of financial leakage in everyday American life. 1 can, 1 bottle, 1 cup each morning seems harmless. But when a habit repeats 365 days a year, it is no longer a small cost. What is unique about this category is that you are not buying because you want to, but because you are tired. The body feels sluggish, the mind is not fully awake, and your hand reaches for something that promises instant energy. In that state, very few people stop to think about how much money they have spent over the years for this short burst of alertness. With daily purchases, many Americans can spend anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 a year on caffeine and sugar alone, without gaining any truly superior effect. Meanwhile, a cup of coffee brewed at home usually costs only a few cents, delivering a level of alertness that is not meaningfully different. The gap is not in the quality of wakefulness, but in the price of convenience. What matters is that this money does not disappear all at once. It evaporates every morning, not large enough to hurt, but steady enough that after a few years, you look back and wonder why your savings are not where you thought they would be. This type of spending does not make you poor in a single month, but it can undermine long-term financial security. In certain specific situations, working night shifts, long-distance driving, or days of true exhaustion, these products can be necessary. But when they become a fixed routine, you are no longer buying caffeine. You are renting alertness at a very high price. The things you buy when you are tired are often the most expensive ones, and each can does not make you poor. The habit does. 8. Diet and special foods. In most American grocery stores, there is one section that makes shoppers slow down, read more carefully, and feel more willing to open their wallets. Not because they are hungry, but because they are afraid of choosing wrong. That section is the diet and special foods shelf. The products here are usually designed very carefully. Soft colors, compact packaging, reassuring language, keto-friendly, gluten-free, paleo-approved. They do not sell food first. They sell a sense of safety. The problem is this: these labels are not nutrition standards. They do not guarantee that a product is better, more filling, or easier to digest. They only indicate that a certain ingredient has been removed, and what is removed often has to be replaced by something else. When you turn the package around, many diet products have longer ingredient lists than the regular versions. Less fiber, more refined oils, more stabilizers, flavor enhancers, and additives to maintain texture, chew, and sweetness. Gluten-free does not mean easier on the stomach. Keto does not mean more filling, and diet does not mean less processed. A common paradox is that many foods in this category make people feel hungry sooner. Not because of weak willpower, but because the body does not receive clear satiety signals. The result is more snacking, greater dependence on packaged foods, and higher total costs without real added benefit. In terms of price, the difference is clear. Versions labeled special often cost 150 to 500% more than basic staple foods. Most of that extra money goes to marketing, not nutrition. For people with clear medical diagnoses, these products are necessary. But for most Americans, buying them every week does not come from bodily need, but from the fear of falling behind in the health conversation. And that is the most important point to think about. When food is chosen more to soothe anxiety than to nourish the body, you are no longer buying food. You are buying reassurance. You are not buying wrong. You are just buying too often. 7. Imitation syrup and flavored syrups. On the breakfast tables of many American families, a bottle of syrup is almost always seen as harmless. It is associated with pancakes, weekend mornings, and family memories, so it is rarely questioned. A weekend morning. Pancakes still hot. Kids sitting at the table waiting. Syrup is poured freely. No one measures. No one thinks of it as sugar. But most syrups on store shelves are not maple syrup. They are mainly corn syrup mixed with color, aroma, and artificial flavoring. Cheap, intensely sweet, but with almost no nutritional value. The biggest issue with imitation syrup is not the sweetness, but the lack of satiety. The thin taste makes people pour more, spread thicker, because it still does not feel satisfying. Blood sugar rises quickly, then drops just as fast, bringing cravings back very soon, especially in children. Imitation syrup is often chosen because it is cheap, but because it has to be used in larger amounts, it is rarely truly economical. It creates a habit of high sugar intake that users do not notice, because most people do not see syrup as a primary source of sugar. Real maple syrup is different. Simple ingredients, deeper flavor, so only a small amount is usually needed. It does not encourage heavy pouring, and it does not trigger the eat then crave again cycle. The difference is not in the label. It is in the behavior that each type of syrup creates. One type makes you stop sooner. One type is designed so that you never feel satisfied. Have you ever tried a cheaper or simpler version of this item? Did the result feel very different? 6. Packaged, healthy snacks. There is a very familiar shopping pattern among Americans. Buying snacks not because of hunger, but to feel at ease. And that is exactly why packaged healthy snacks sell so well. Granola bars, protein bars, energy snacks are usually wrapped in clean packaging, soft colors, paired with keywords that make buyers breathe easier. Natural, high protein, low guilt. They do not sell food first. They sell the feeling of doing the right thing. But once the packaging is opened, reality often does not match the image on the box. The portion is very small, calories are concentrated, and hidden sugars, from honey, syrup, concentrated fruit sugars, are often higher than buyers expect. After eating, you are not full for long. You are only temporarily reassured. What these snacks share is this: they are not designed to end hunger, but to be just enough to eat without guilt, and then a few hours later, you need more. That loop slowly raises costs, even though each item does not look expensive on its own. The irony is that their base ingredients are extremely cheap and familiar: oats, nuts, dried fruit. When bought separately, these foods do not require long additive lists, do not need stabilizers, do not need artificial flavors, and they keep you full more effectively. Packaged healthy snacks are not dangerous because they are bad. They are dangerous because they make people stop listening to their bodies and start trusting labels. When food is chosen to soothe guilt rather than to nourish the body, you are no longer eating because you are hungry. You are eating to be reassured, and that is exactly what thins your wallet while hunger remains. 5. Small yogurt cups. Small yogurt cups are one of the clearest examples of how Americans pay more money to receive less food, almost without realizing it. On the shelf, a pack of small yogurts looks harmless. The price per cup is only a few dollars. But when converted by the pound, you are paying 2 to 5 times more than the same yogurt in a large container. Not because the quality is better, not because the nutrition is higher, simply because it has been pre-portioned. Most buyers believe that small cups help control portions. But in reality, the portion has already been controlled at the pricing stage. You are not eating less. You are just paying more for each spoonful. One detail that few people notice is that large containers usually move faster. They are bought by families and frequent consumers, so they spend less time sitting on shelves. That means more consistent freshness. While small cups can sit in inventory longer because they look convenient but are not essential, then there is the packaging. Each small cup comes with a plastic lid, a sealed film, and its own label. When yogurt is eaten as a daily habit, the amount of plastic you bring home exceeds the amount of food inside. But that environmental cost does not appear on the receipt. It simply accumulates quietly. Many people say, "I only eat a small amount. Buying a large container would be wasteful." But it is precisely because you eat a small amount that you are charged more. The system does not penalize people who eat a lot. The system penalizes those who buy in small portions. If you eat yogurt regularly, small cups are not a convenient solution. They are a way of selling food bundled with packaging at a higher price, labeled as lifestyle-friendly. The problem is not the yogurt. The problem is that you are buying the packaging, not the nutritional value. Convenience does not make you poor immediately, but it makes you lose control. 4. Bottled water. Bottled water is one of the grocery items with the highest markup in the store, yet it is purchased with a complete sense of comfort. A clear bottle, a clean label, grab it and drink immediately. The price per bottle is small, so very few people stop to ask themselves, what am I actually paying for? The production cost of a bottle of water is only a few cents. Most of the price comes from the plastic bottle, transportation, advertising, and a carefully constructed image of purity. You are not buying more water. You are buying a feeling of safety. One viewer left a comment under the video. Oh my. We are giving babies plastic to drink every day without even knowing it. That statement may sound extreme, but it is not without basis. Many recent studies have found microplastics present in most bottled water brands, sometimes at levels even higher than tap water. These particles come from the bottle and the cap themselves during storage and transportation. The irony is that tap water in the United States is tested regularly and held to much stricter oversight standards than many people realize. But because it has no attractive label and no advertising, it does not create the same sense of reassurance as bottled water. The issue is not a single bottle. The issue is the habit. A few bottles every day at home, in the car, in the fridge. It does not feel expensive. It does not feel wrong. But added up over a year, you are paying a significant amount of money for something you already have by default. There are times when bottled water makes sense. Travel, natural disasters, power outages. But when it becomes the default choice for everyday drinking at home, it is no longer convenience. It is a recurring cost, carefully hidden under a layer of safety. Have you ever bought this item regularly in the past, then suddenly stopped? What made you change? 3. Big brand spices, small jars. Spices are one of the rare grocery items that many people buy almost instinctively. Picking up a small jar, nice label, solid cap, price not too high, and into the cart it goes. Very few people stop to think that spices are not something that needs to be bought frequently, and certainly not something that needs to be expensive. In reality, most spices do not expire in the way we fear. They simply lose aroma over time. That means you do not need small jars to keep them fresh. But that small size is exactly what drives the price per gram sharply higher. You pay more money just to receive less spice. Big brands understand this psychology very well. They are not selling spices. They are selling a sense of neatness, uniformity, and professionalism on the kitchen shelf. The added cost is in the packaging, advertising, and shelf placement, not in the flavor. Many people say they do not have ethnic markets or bulk spice stores nearby. That is completely valid. But even in a regular supermarket, you still have better options if you take the time to look at weight instead of the jar and compare prices by the ounce or gram. Spices do not make meals better because of a nice label. When bought out of habit, you are paying for appearance, while what you truly need is just flavor. 2. Pre-marinated/seasoned meats. This is one of the most debated items in the comment section, and the reason is not about taste. Many people who have worked in food retail have spoken up to confirm an uncomfortable reality. Meat that is close to its expiration date is often the easiest to marinate. Once meat is covered in seasoning, sugar, and salt, its natural smell and color are no longer reliable indicators. buyers lose the ability to tell whether the meat is still fresh. Strong flavors mask warning signs, and convenience ensures that the question is never asked. This is exactly why Anthony Bourdain once issued a very direct warning. If you cannot see, smell, and judge meat in its original state, be cautious. That was not fear-mongering, but the experience of someone who spent a lifetime behind kitchen doors. Beyond quality concerns, pre-marinated meat is also usually more expensive than fresh meat. You are paying extra for the sauce, for convenience, and for not having to think. In return, you give up control over what you are eating. There are times when there is no other choice, but when pre-marinated meat becomes a regular shopping habit, it is no longer convenience. It is a quiet trade-off between money and risk. 1. Pre-shredded cheese is one of those items that makes buyers feel like they are saving time, while in reality, paying extra money in a very quiet way. Looking at a bag of shredded cheese, everything seems reasonable. Open and use immediately. No knife, no cutting board. But that very light touch is what quietly raises the bill. Compared to block cheese, pre-shredded cheese usually costs significantly more for the same weight. The difference does not come from better milk quality or a more special flavor. It comes from the shredding process, the convenience packaging, and the anti-caking agents added to keep the cheese from clumping in the bag. What few people notice is that block cheese usually lasts longer and retains flavor better. When you shred or slice it at home, you control how much you use, avoiding heavy-handed sprinkling simply because the cheese is already prepared. Pre-shredded cheese works the opposite way. Easy to use, easy to overuse, and easy to run out faster than you expect. There are situations where pre-shredded cheese is a reasonable choice, especially for people with limited hand mobility. But for most other buyers, this is a classic example of a convenience trap. Paying extra to avoid a task that takes only a few minutes in exchange for higher costs and less control in the kitchen. Not everyone who buys these items is wrong, and convenience is not always a bad thing. But the issue is this: many people buy without ever stopping to ask what they are actually paying for. Is it food? Or is it packaging, advertising, and a temporary sense of reassurance? You do not need to change everything today. You only need to change the way you look when you walk into the grocery store. If a familiar item makes you pay more without making you fuller, healthier, or last longer, then it is no longer a smart choice. Being well prepared is not about buying more. Being well prepared is about being less surprised. And when you understand these small traps, you do not just save money. You keep control in a system that is always trying to make you spend more. If this video helps you see the grocery store a little differently, share it with someone you think might need it. Because at a time when everything costs more, understanding is the cheapest and most valuable thing you can keep for yourself.